experience and to do that exchange because I wanted to better understand how foreign policy, how diplomacy, security, international relations, and all of that was approached from a non-American perspective.
I regard my experience at the Fletcher School as a crucial step in my preparation for a career in the Foreign Service. Any foreign policy practitioner, in my opinion, should be able to produce quality analysis. And to achieve that, you have to look at any situation from a set of different perspectives.
And being able to take this opportunity to go to Moscow, to go to MGIMO, and to see this is why and this is how Russians come to the decisions they do is a really valuable experience. And it's very difficult to say that I would be able to reach those same conclusions and understand those perspectives without having done so. And I think that's immensely valuable.
In Russia, you get one perspective. The US gives you a completely different perspective. And at the Fletcher School, you get one of the best versions of the US perspective, given that Fletcher is among America's leading schools of international relations. But not only do you get one of the best versions of the American lens at the Fletcher School, but you also get dozens of other lenses there, given that Fletcher has an extremely diverse and vibrant community of students from across the globe.
Adjusting from Boston or New York or DC to Moscow really isn't that different. It's not that difficult. The quality of life is, very nice in Moscow. No issues there. The transportation is great. The public infrastructure is great. It's a clean city. But definitely a great experience and a really cool way to experience what it's like to live in Moscow. Not Russia, because it's different than the rest of the country, but overall a great experience on that end. So not entirely difficult, just a different experience.
Make sure to enjoy the benefits of the location of the Fletcher School, which is the Boston metropolitan area. And the Boston metropolitan area is not limited to Fletcher or Tufts, although both of them are wonderful. There are other amazing universities, such as Harvard University and MIT, both of which you can visit, and you can visit some open talks which are held at those universities and even some lectures. You should also do your best to enjoy sightseeing in Boston and visit some of the finest museums in the United States. For the tips that I would like to give to potential and aspiring exchange students at Fletcher, and especially to the Russian students, the most important one is to find a balance between your social life and your academic life. Fletcher gives you a lot of free time, but that's not true. The fact is that in Russia, for instance, you get something like 12 to 13 classes per week in a master's program. But at Fletcher, it's just 6 to 7 classes. And most of the work you have to do by your own at home. So that's very important to remember that.
I think that's just something to keep in mind. It's a very valuable experience, and there's nothing wrong with going. In fact, I would say my experience there was overwhelmingly positive. I made a lot of good friends, and I had a great experience. But it is something to keep in mind that you're in a different place, a place that's probably unfamiliar to you culturally, with different practices and customs, different social expectations, but it is a good experience.
Both the academic and the social sides of my time at Fletcher were truly unforgettable. What I valued most about studying at Fletcher was the depth of expertise that you get at each of the disciplines that you choose. For instance, I studied Latin America at one of my classes, and the amount of information that the professor gave me on the problems of poverty, crime and corruption that are present in the region was truly immense. But it is not only the professors that give you the information at Fletcher. There are lots of exciting forms of work, such as team presentations and group discussions, so you also get a lot of insights from your fellow students. As for the social life, it is pretty rich. There are theme parties, social gatherings of different sorts. There is even a rock band called Los Fletcheros, which I had the privilege to join. And you also get the chance to meet your potential employers at different career events.
In terms of how that impacted me as a student or as somebody looking to get a job, because obviously that is the end goal with our degree, is to apply it somewhere. Doing the exchange at MGIMO definitely has pushed me more in towards the work of diplomacy and towards the State Department, for example. I think that's a really valuable skill and really valuable asset to take.
For any aspiring diplomat, for any aspiring foreign policy practitioner, an exchange at the Fletcher School would be an unforgettable and priceless experience, and it is definitely worth it.